Hey, thanks for joining me again today. Last time we talked about the end of times, the abomination of desolation, and what that actually looks like. But I wanted to expound a little bit upon the actual coming of Christ and what we can look forward to. So today's verse is Matthew 24:23. Then if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Christ," or "There he is," do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. And this is all happening after the tribulation period, after these wars and rumors of wars, after famines, after Jesus is saying there will be a great tribulation, none like the earth has ever experienced before. And I know each generation is a little different. Each generation looks at what's going on in the world, and as Bible-believing Christians, we look up to God and we say, God, the world is falling apart. Where are you? What is happening here? And we can trace this back thousands of years. Think of the persecution in the church in the first generation. And then we can think about how Christians were being persecuted during the Reformation times, fleeing from another continent, coming here to America and trying to start all over. Think of all the wars and conquerors, all the famines, all the droughts, all of the hardship that the world has gone through already for the history that we only know about. Here in more modern times, we can think of both world wars, we can think of terrible atrocities committed by countries, and it's easy to try to build a timeline to go, okay, all of this stuff has happened. But since Jesus says such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, and never will be, we can expect things to continually get worse. But all this is really leading up to the second coming of Christ. So let's look and see what we can expect. See, I have told you beforehand, so if they say to you, look, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. If they say, look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. And we've seen multiple religions do this. People like the Mother God cult and even the Mormons that all believe that Christ had some sort of secret second coming. But we can look at scripture and see exactly how Christ is going to come. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Verse 31, and he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So what are we actually expecting? We're expecting a massive flash of light. And if you've ever been in a serious thunderstorm, you have a little bit of this experience. Thunder that crashes so loud over your house that the windows rattle and you can feel the walls shake. And that's just a thunderstorm that makes you feel very small and very weak. Or if you've ever been in a tornado or huddled in a shelter and you can just feel it moving, you can feel the power of the wind, you can feel the power of the storm. This is what we're expecting. Lightning as far from the east is from the west. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Loud trumpet calls, angels gathering his elect. There's going to be no mistake when Jesus returns. There's not going to be a question. People are not going to go, gee, I really wonder if that was actually Jesus coming back. It's not going to be hidden in a room. It's not going to be out in the wilderness where people have to go out and try to see. Everyone's going to know it, and there's going to be no question about who it is. Why? Because our God is so strong and so amazing. The first time that Jesus came, he came to give people hope and redemption. The second time that he comes, it is to gather his elect and pass judgment on the world. Fair judgment because he owns and controls it all. Thanks for spending this daily Jesus Minute with me.